you are a mystery fanatic, you are absolutely going to love this video. From the spookiest of writings from hundreds of years ago to the creepiest of cases of missing planes and moving rocks, these are the mysteries that will leave your mouth open in shock. Be ready to be amazed and hang on tight as we go through some of the most bizarre and shocking mysteries from around the world that no one can figure out to this day. The hidden writings in the Voynich Manuscript. You must have heard a lot of riddles that you thought were unsolvable, but this manuscript has put the brightest minds into a state of confusion. The Voynich Manuscript was named after a Polish book dealer, Wilfrid Voynich, but ever since it came to light, it has perplexed the human mind. The 240-page long book is filled with strange graphics. It includes weird sea creatures that are a hybrid between a dragon and a seahorse, unknown plants and weeds, weird symbols, the night skies, and many other bizarre things. On top of that, we have no idea what language it is written in. Some people propose that the book contains a lost language, while others call it a women's health manual. But some of the theories are simply wild. A few people believe the manuscript came from outer space and was written by aliens. It is because the night skies in the book do not look like they are from Earth. Some even claimed that the manuscript was written by Voynich himself to create a ruffle among the public. But what is the truth? Nobody knows. FBI agents, famous code breakers of the world wars, researchers, mathematicians, and even linguists have all tried to untangle the mystery, but they were all left frustrated in the end. The one thing that the historians have figured out is that there are multiple sections in the book. It would be too easy to crack the code if there was an obvious pattern in the manuscript, which is why a lot of people do not believe it holds a secret code. But there are some repetitions that have helped break the book into 6 different sections: herbal, recipes, biological, cosmological, pharmacological, and balneological. The language used in the book seems to contain 20 to 25 distinct letters, but they are unrecognizable. A researcher proposed that some letters were of Arabic and Hebrew descent, but various scholars have widely disregarded this theory. There have been 60 theories that people have proposed about the manuscript, but none of those solutions have been verified. There are only speculations that spark an interest, but the true meaning of this book remains hidden to this day. The Creepy Max Headroom Incident. In 1987, a hijacking so creepy took place that it shook the entire country. One spooky night in November, the television signals of 2 stations were hijacked by a mysterious man. He was wearing the mask of Max Headroom, a popular fictional character of that time, but his real identity remains unknown to this day. The creepy interruption by this man was made twice in the same night. The first incident took place during a sports segment. The masked man was swaying in the background with a loud buzz filling up the air. The interruption ran for 17 seconds until the channel was finally able to regain control. But the second intrusion lasted much longer and had a more disturbing tale to tell. 2 hours after the first incident, during the broadcast of the Doctor Who serial's Horror of Fang Rock episode, another hijacking occurred with the same person visible on screen. This time, there were some baffling comments made by the masked men about various TV shows that were being aired on schedule. The audio was very distorted, with an appearance from another person off the camera. The identities of these people remained hidden as they made a bunch of inappropriate comments and displayed questioning behavior. The hijacking ended on its own after 90 seconds. Many investigations took place later, but these hijackers were never discovered. Some suggest that it was an employee who was fed up with the channel, while others think that it was a planned move by a group of underground hackers. But nothing has been confirmed. At that time, it was a pretty technical and organized hijacking that baffled the entire country, and the mystery remains to this day. The creepy Phoenix lights. On March 13, 1997, strange lights were spotted in the sky that were gliding along in a V-shaped pattern. The strange sighting was witnessed by thousands of people in a city of 5 million people. The police stations were buzzing with one report after another of the strange lights moving in slow motion across the sky. Some of the witnesses claimed that the lights were so low in the sky that they could see it up close from their roofs. The sighting was visible across the sky for about 3 hours. It started its journey in the state of Nevada and traveled all the way to the state of Arizona for miles. If you think that's crazy, check this out. Witnesses claimed that the lights were spread out for miles along the sky. Some of them estimated the length to be around 8 miles. In case you don't know, there is no known aircraft spanning that much in length. There were multiple arguments made against the idea of a UFO sighting. But among the witnesses, there was one credible person whose statement you cannot ignore. The governor of the state, a former Air Force officer and a pilot, said in a press conference that the strange lights did not resemble anything like a man-made vehicle. This bizarre yet convincing UFO encounter still remains a mystery that has no clear answer. The Bermuda Triangle. The mystery of the Bermuda Triangle is so baffling that it has confused both the commons and the experts. Most people who have dared to go too close to the Devil's Triangle have not been heard of again. There have been dozens of ships and planes that have been reported to disappear whenever they are flying near or over the Bermuda Triangle. A report estimates that there have been 20 aeroplanes and 50 ships that have gone missing when they flew or sailed through the Bermuda Triangle. The troubling thing is that there was no wreckage found after these strange disappearances. Many planes like the Star Tiger, Star Ariel, and Flight 19 reported no distress signals before vanishing in thin air. Most of the planes were flying out in completely good weather, yet they never made it to their destination. Similarly, the USS Cyclops was a ship that never made it out of the Bermuda Triangle. Its last message read, "Weather fair, all well." A strange thing to hear, knowing the fate that befell the vessel. It never made it to Baltimore, and there were no reports of any enemy ship far and near the site of disappearance. This mysterious case, like many other disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle, has been a point of controversy for years. Now keep in mind, it is not like no ship ever comes out of Bermuda alive. There have been many ships and planes that have gone through the Bermuda Triangle and come out alive on the other end. That makes the place normal, right? Wrong. This mysterious contradiction between the different cases has only increased the curiosity among people. Many interesting speculations have been made to explain this phenomenon. Some of them appear reasonable, while others are simply wild guesses. Many believe that the triangle hosts a secret entrance to a parallel universe. Some ships just get trapped in this gateway and are thrown into another dimension. Other theories suggest that the weather inside the triangle is highly destructive, which engulfs the vessels and leaves nothing but rubble behind. Some go as far to say that the area is guarded by UFOs. Flight 370 disappearance. In the long list of aircraft mysteries, the disappearance of this Malaysian aircraft has puzzled the world for years, and there is no clue as to where the plane is right now. Malaysian Flight 370 started its journey on March 8, 2014, with 239 people on board. Out of them, 227 were passengers, while the rest of them were crew members. The aircraft was on its scheduled path from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing when the air traffic controllers lost the signal from the airline. When the news of the missing airline became known, one of the most expensive search operations commenced. But the investigations opened up a whole can of worms no one was ready for. The aircraft had deviated from its original path and had come back the long route towards the Malaysian coast and then took a right to the island of Penang until it was off the radar. This was highly unusual, as that was not the intended path of the aircraft at all. But wait till you hear more. The satellite communication was turned off before the aircraft changed its path, but it was turned back on after a few hours. The signal was on for 6 hours until it presumably crashed, probably because of running out of fuel. The multinational search operation ran for months. The South Indian Ocean, the last supposed location of the aircraft, was scoured for evidence, but no wreckage was found. A year later, around 31 parts of the airline were discovered. The family members were devastated. There was a lot of angry sentiment from the Chinese side because a lot of passengers were of Chinese origin. They blamed the Malaysian authorities for covering up important details. What's weird is that the authorities were not able to provide a distinctive answer on why the airline went missing. There have been many speculations. A lot of people blamed the pilot, claiming that he took down the passengers and himself intentionally. This is supported by the evidence leaked to the Malaysian media about the pilot and his flight simulator sessions. The pilot suspiciously practiced a route that was similar to the path taken by the missing airline. However, an argument was made that the data could have been from more than one session. That more or less cleared up the pilot's name. Some claim that the plane caught on fire because it was carrying tons of lithium-ion batteries, but that wouldn't have caused the airline to go off the course. A few even suggest hijacking and fuel exhaustion, but these theories were never supported by evidence either. Even if the plane was deliberately crashed, the motives behind it remain a huge mystery, as the two pilots did not show any signs of erratic behavior. The hidden copper scroll treasure. A goat herder was traveling along the Qumran caves when he unearthed a place that is now considered a popular archaeological site. Hidden in these caves were over 850 documents that gave a sneak peek into the ancient world. But one of those documents was quite unique: the copper scrolls. They were discovered by archaeologists in the last 15 documents tucked in the back of the caves. The two scrolls are written separately on copper sheets, which is quite different from the scrolls you see from that time. The language was cryptic, but shows some text from the Hebrew and Greek language. Although there is no real translation available, the experts firmly believe it shows a treasure map. There are 63 separate entries on the scrolls leading to different locations where silver and gold are hidden. The estimated amount of the precious metals hidden at secret places rounds up to around 160 tons. The surprisingly huge amount of the hidden treasure has enticed many people to try and figure out the secret locations. But their efforts went in vain. The translation done by the experts is quite unspecific. Some statements that were translated are "in the gutter in the bottom of the tank" and "in the cavity of the old house of tribute in the chain platform." The latter entry claims to store 65 bars of gold. However, the reason why the historians have not been able to pinpoint the exact locations is because of the vague entries. Nobody knows what these places are or where they are hidden. Some people claim that there is no lost treasure and it is all a hoax. So then why do so many people believe there is a hidden treasure? Because of the structure of the entries. The entries had 3 things written in the cryptic language: general location, specific location with an instructed distance of how much to dig, and what you will find there. The strangest road in Saudi Arabia. There is a road so mysterious in Saudi Arabia that it is widely visited by tourists and locals as a popular site. Near Medina, there is a valley known as Wadi al-Baida. After a strange phenomenon occurring on the road of the valley started gaining attraction, the name of the valley was changed to Wadi Jinn, the Valley of Ghosts. Whenever curious drivers climb on this spooky road, they turn off their engines and witness the most bizarre of occurrences. Even when the car's engine is turned off, it climbs up the huge slope on its own. The cars move at a fast speed, without any involvement of the driver, leaving every tourist bewildered by the strange event. Some people have even tried other experiments, like pouring down water on the slope. But instead of the water trickling downwards, it makes its way upwards. This strange phenomenon is so famous that tourists set up tents here to witness the mysterious event themselves. But why does it happen? It remains a mystery that baffles many people even today. The mysterious Bimini Road to the lost city of Atlantis. Ever heard about the lost Atlantis city? Experts believe that Bimini Road was the one that led to the city. Atlantis was an ancient city that was submerged around 11,000 years ago. The city was thriving with a marvelous spectacle of architecture and an impressive display of engineering designs. But its location has always remained a mystery. This was until the Bimini roads were discovered. 3 underwater archaeologists were on their journey 20 feet into the ocean when they spotted a pattern of rocks on the seabed. This is in the Bahamas near the Bimini coast. The series of rocks laid down in a weird pattern resembles a kind of road with no destination. Many researchers believe that it was once the entrance to the lost Atlantis city. 2 different series of huge rocks run about 1,500 feet in length until they merge at the end in a U-shaped pathway. When you look at the limestone blocks, they appear as if they were created by humans. But a strange fact about them makes everything doubly weird. There are no chisel-shaped marks or any such trace made by tools on the stones. This leads the researchers to believe that it is a natural phenomenon. If the formation of these limestone rocks is indeed natural, then how come they are aligned so perfectly in the form of a pathway? But a bigger mystery with the Bimini roads is whether it ties up with the location of the Atlantis city. Research was carried out to test the origin of this strange geological formation of rocks. It almost aligned with the time Atlantis was expected to have existed in the world. As for no chisel marks, there is a debate over the matter of whether the rocks might have eroded since their origin, wiping away all the man-made marks. It also raises the question that if erosion occurred over the years, the date of the rocky pathway may not be right in the said research. The puzzling construction of the Pyramids of Giza. One of the biggest mysteries in human history is the construction behind the Pyramids of Giza. Researchers have tried to decode it for years, but they have not been able to come up with a reasonable explanation. Located in Egypt, these pyramids have been around for 3,800 years, almost the same time since humans populated the Earth. The pyramids are one of the most visually pleasing wonders of the world, but there is a question that gets raised every so often. How were they constructed? The whole pyramid weighs around 13 billion pounds. It has roughly 2 million blocks of stones each that weigh around 2 tons. Even with the bizarre amount of time it took to build this many pyramids, it is unclear how the blocks were moved in the first place. The sheer scale and difficulty of the task make many wonder if the pyramids are even man-made. A large group believes that the pyramids were created by the aliens, but there have been other logical explanations for how the pyramids were constructed. Many people believe that the ramps were built around pyramids, greased with water, and used to transport the heavy blocks of stones. The conspiracy theorists suggest advanced tools and even aliens help build these huge structures. Not to mention, there are other secrets discovered about the pyramids that continue to send shockwaves around the world. There were hidden pathways in the structures discovered more than 4,000 years later. What more secrets do these marvels of history hide within them? The spooky sailing stones. Did you know there are rocks that move on their own accord? This interesting case will blow your mind. Death Valley National Park is home to many fascinations, but the one thing that beats everything else is the strange movements of these rocks. These seemingly normal rocks were recorded to be moving in the forward direction without any interference from the animals or any gravitational power. No one has actually seen the rocks move, which makes the whole experience even more peculiar. But the trail of sand, left behind on the ground, is evidence enough to prove that the rocks have been moving from one point to another. The strange thing is that the moving rocks are not of the same size. They vary from smaller rocks weighing a few ounces to huge boulders that weigh hundreds of pounds. But here is where it gets terrifying. Some of the rocks were reported to move more than 1,000 feet. Scientific explanations suggest that this is a natural phenomenon. The rocks move because of the combined action of the balance of ice, water, and wind. They create a pressure that forces the rocks to glide in a horizontal direction. While it does give a reasonable explanation, the theory has not been confirmed. The trickling movement of the rocks still puzzles tourists who come by to see these wonders with their own eyes. That's all on the baffling cases that have baffled humanity for a long time now, defying explanations. Do you have a theory to solve one of these astounding cases? Let us know in the comments, and do share your favorite mystery with us. While you are at it, be sure to hit the like button. It helps us know what you want to see on our channel. And don't forget to press the subscribe icon. Until then, have a great day hunting for unsolvable mysteries, and thanks for watching.